Back in the room, back in the room, back in the room, back in the room. Let's try this again. So yes, back in my room at home, because I've barely been able to go to the studio in the past 2 weeks. From the last episode when I mentioned camera prep, that was the last time I went in up until yesterday. No, we recorded Geeks. Yeah, still felt like forever though. Things are still quite busy, not as physically hectic. It's mostly a lot of meetings, a lot of rehearsals for the TV series, which is good, like long-ass meetings, yes, but good meetings, necessary meetings. And even the rehearsals, like, part of me is like, but the other part of me goes, you know what, this is good, we get to figure out these characters beforehand because our schedule's pretty tight. So yeah, there's gonna be a whole bunch more meetings and stuff, and still got a couple of KL Pack plays and some renovation going on in the house for the drippings of wetness from the roof that has been plaguing me for the entire length of COVID. But as opposed to being a recap of how busy shit is once again, because I'm pretty sure that shit's getting boring to you all right now, I thought I'd talk about how somewhere around this week, can't remember what date exactly, we reached the 1 year point of Kickflip's streaming contract on Mubi. So yeah, it's been a full year because the contract was only for a year and only in Malaysia. And I've been so busy, like I would have pimped it out more. It just so happens I checked on the day that Kickflip was leaving Mubi, like at midnight. So yeah, 1 whole year on Mubi, the first platform that we started streaming Kickflip on, after realizing during the pandemic that we don't know where cinema is going to go, don't know how this is going to work, don't know if it'll ever be shown in the theaters, so stick it on streaming, and Mubi were the ones that picked us up. You know, for that I'm eternally grateful. Also because it was an interesting platform. There's a certain type of demographic that uses Mubi. And after like the whole year of having it streaming on Mubi, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I was incredibly surprised. Not just by the reaction, but by the people who are watching it. Because if you asked any of us, the demographic that started watching the film and really commenting on it and really raving about it, we honestly didn't think it was the demographic that would be into the movie. I don't know if that's from years of being in the industry in Malaysia and having people tell you what demographic your movies are meant to be on and who they suit, or it's just being told constantly like, you know, the majority don't want to see your films in the first place. I don't know. But yeah, it was really surprising, really heartfelt, and really cool to just see like who was watching the film. And I wanted to talk about it simply because like the Kickflip making of vlogs ended just as this vlog started. That was the transition point, I guess, for me to do that cool little intro for the first episode of this series. But yeah, there is some sadness in there that it's leaving that platform and that it didn't get picked up for Mubi International, it was just Mubi Malaysia. But on the bright side, you know, Kickflip is still showing on Kini Dia along with all my other indie films. Showdown, I think, is the only film that's not on Kini Dia, that's mine. So it's still on a platform where people in Malaysia can watch it, which is great. And I'm still trying to figure out like other ways to get it on other streaming platforms or just streaming it myself. But yeah, thinking about Kickflip, you know, like having its streaming service end, you know, gave me pause for thought to think about the journey of that film so far, which has been crazy. Like, is it what we wanted? No. Considering the circumstances, like, what else could we do? Was it like the biggest reception ever? No. But at the same time, I've always believed like, I'd rather have like, in an audience of let's say 100, 10 people who really, really dig it and get it and like it hits them in some way and, you know, as opposed to like 90 people who just like, hey, that was a fun movie, what else have we got? You know what I mean? But still, it's that weird thing now because cinema still seems in this weird moment of transition and it still doesn't feel like where's the place for this film or the type of films that I want to do. I don't know if I ever talked about it on the Kickflip vlogs, but I do remember my mindset when I was writing the movie and planning to make it. Like, this was my, okay, I'm gonna do a movie that's mine again, that's 100% mine, the way I wanna fucking do it, cast the people that I want, shoot it and edit it the way that I want. And the aim was to try and get it onto festivals. With the pandemic, as you can imagine, that became tricky, and now that festivals are opening up again, it's kind of like in that period where it's like, oh, it's a bit too old now. Oh, and you've put it for streaming now, so I don't know if you can go to festivals anymore. But that was the plan. I'd pretty much given up on the mainstream industry here, because the only way I could see myself like doing it constantly is as a job. At that point in time, I was like, nah, I'll work in it, but I want to have this one last shot of trying to tell my own story and see if I can find an audience. And my mindset at the time was, okay, let's just do this, let's make this, and if it doesn't hit and it doesn't work out, then fuck it, I'll retire from making my own movies and maybe just stick to being a DP and an editor and a director for hire. Like, it was gonna be like, okay, this or bust, last call, all in. So that's the thing, like, it didn't exactly fail, but it also didn't go the direction that I was hoping it would go. It instead ended up in this spot where, like, whilst there was no big brouhaha, no big bang about it, I still haven't recouped the budget for the movie. At the same time, the reaction that it got, and the response that it got, and the reviews that it got, and the way people talked about it was enough for me to go, okay, maybe there is some merit to still telling my own stories. Maybe not in the same way, but maybe it's not the time to quit telling stories just yet. And I'm quite grateful for that. You know, I'm quite grateful to the response and validation that we got, because leading up to making that movie, like, all the way till the cast and crew screening, there was that strong feeling of, I'm done in this industry. I'm done as a director. I'm not one of those guys. Because I don't play the game, I can be fucked with all the rules, and it's not like I'm making controversial stories anyway. I'm just telling, I guess, simple, basic stories about people. I'm not very genre, so it's not like I can go through that route when it comes to the stuff that I write. And, you know, I don't like writing my own shit for the sake of chasing an audience. So I was actually really, really prepared to give it up, because trying to please everyone was getting fucking tiring. The fact that everyone out there, whoever you are, the fact that you guys made the effort to just say something about the movie and talk about it and post about it and leave a review or post a review and all that stuff. Like, the fact that you guys did that and I got to see, like, okay, some people get it. It's enough for me to keep on going. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But for now, thank you so much, everyone. And for those that haven't seen the movie yet and are still curious, it's over there on kennydia.com. So please check it out if you're curious. Like, it's strange. Like, even now, like, I am back into directing something mainstream again for a TV station. And it's an odd feeling. But at the same time, because of the team, because the showrunners and the other directors and everyone working on it, it doesn't feel like your usual bullshit. It's really nice to see this amount of prep and this amount of dedication. It really juices you up to actually want to do something good with the material. We'll see how things go from here. But for now, like I said, if you haven't checked out Kickflip yet, kennydia.com, link below. And yeah, in the meantime, like, if you're curious how things are going with this TV series and all the work that I've been doing so far, I'm sure I'll post stuff up on my Instagram. Right now, I've got a whole bunch of editing to do because that has been on the back burner because of all these meetings. Once again, not sure how to end it. Cut to boo!